I'm Mike, this is Film Masters. We are now at part 19 of building the Apprehension engine, and we're going to be putting in the guitar tuners into the both necks that we've got, so the large neck and the small neck. So let's have a look at what we've got. So first of all, we need to make a measurement which is 1.5 inches. Now the 1.5 inches will be the proper spacing that you need so that the actual guitar tuners will be evenly spaced and have the right amount of space between the two strings when we're going from one side all the way over the hurdy-gurdy wheel to the other. So this is a guitar tuner, obviously. There's a left and a right, and the distinguishing mark is that little space there where the screw goes into. So when you get a pack of 6, you generally get 3 left and 3 right. Now, when you make the drill through the actual top of the guitar neck, you need to make sure that it is based on the spacing of this part here, not the smaller part. Now the size of the bit that I've got here is a size 10 drill bit. Now again, make sure that you do check your drill bit just in case it's a different sizing to make sure that you've got the right one. So I'm just going to remove the large guitar neck now. So I'm going to take the 4 bolts out from the top, and there's 4 on the side, which I won't show you, but they are there obviously because you should know because you've been building it. And then obviously we're going to drill our top of the guitar neck with the drill. Now I'm using a drill press. You can use a normal drill. It's ideal to use a drill press because it means that the hole will be nice and square. And again, take your time. Now, I'm running this a little bit fast, which is why there's smoke coming out of it. You can obviously adjust your drill press so that it runs slower. However, by making a slight burn scorch on the inside, it actually makes it nice and, well, it makes it scorched on the inside, makes it black. I like it that way, which is why I'm doing it that way. Again, it's entirely up to you. You don't have to do that. Again, it is your Apprehension engine. So again, I'm just going to drill through this all the way through. So we're doing both of them. Now again, remember the measurement that you've used is 1.5 inches. Don't make it any narrower or any wider than that. And again, I've made it nice and even in between. And then you can choose anywhere on the wood that you want to put those to. So I'm just going to use a sander now, sand both sides just to make sure we've got no bits and pieces hanging off it. And then we can start to insert our guitar tuners. So the guitar tuners come with a washer, they come with a nut and a little screw, and they go into each one. So first of all, you put your guitar tuner in. So I'm using, I believe it's the right hand side guitar tuner. Either way, it's where the screw is facing closer to the body of the Apprehension engine. Same as what you can see on the screen now. And then I'm going to screw it in. So once you've made the adjustment, making sure that the guitar tuner is nice and square, it's then a matter of screwing in the little screw. Now the screw itself doesn't hold the actual item in place, making it nice and strong. All it does is stops it from wobbling and moving or coming loose, obviously when you're playing the guitar. And we do the same for the other side again. So again, we're putting it in, making sure it's nice and square, and then using the screw to obviously screw it in so it doesn't move around. But once we've done that, it's then a matter of just simply turning it over, and we're going to then put our washer and nut on. I've got it flipped over now. We're going to put our washer on first of all, and then we're going to apply the nut, or put the nut in there. It does go down the shaft. It's an internal thread. Once we've got it in there, we put them on both sides, obviously, and then we're going to use a wrench or a plumber's wrench in order to tighten those nuts up. Now you can use a normal spanner. I'm going to use the wrench because that's what most people have around the house. And obviously it's just a matter of tightening. And then we do both sides, make sure they're nice and tight. And obviously that screw, like I was saying before, with the screw in there, the screw just stops it from turning when it's actually in the guitar neck. It's not really there for strength, which is why it's such a small screw. And that is our large guitar neck done. Now, make sure that that little hole there that you can see is above the nut. So if it's not, it might be because your guitar neck is too thick and you need to shave it down. However, if you use the right measurements like I showed you before, you won't have any troubles. So again, we're just going to put that guitar neck back on, and now we're taking the small guitar neck off now. And obviously there's 4 screws for that one. And the first thing we need to do is making sure that we've turned it over, is we're going to find the very center of where we're going to put our very first one, which is the middle guitar tuner. So I'm going to measure it, I'm going to find the dead center, and I'm going to put a mark right there. So that's where the very first mark will be and where we'll take our first measurement. It's going to zoom in now. Now the measurement that I'm going to use from the top left hand side from the side there is 1¼ centimeters or ½ an inch. So ½ an inch from the left hand side, and I'm going to measure ½ an inch from the right hand side. And then I'm going to measure it from the very center exactly an inch, and then measure the other one an inch away as well. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, pause the screen now and you can see the measurements right for what you need. Then I'm just going to put the tuners on there and just line them up, make sure that there's the right spacing in there, and then move on to the next part of it. So once you've done that and you've lined them up, it's just a matter of simply drilling out using the same thickness, the size 10 drill bit. And taking your time, obviously. Now, if you don't have a drill press, you can still use a hand drill. Just try and make sure that it's as square as possible. And obviously, I'm just going to drill through these 3 holes. There's probably nothing more entertaining than watching 3 holes be drilled in a tutorial. However, you need to see it. And then it's just a matter of sanding both sides off again to make sure that we remove all those little bits of wooden burr off. And there's our 3 holes in place. So again, it's just a matter of simply putting in our guitar tuners. So we've got 2 rights and 1 left. And you can tell because the ones in my left hand are the 2 rights, and then we've got the left. So we're going to now put them in place, and it's just a matter of moving them around until you're happy with the location. Now, because of the very top one is a little bit too far away, you can see it's touching the wood. So I'm going to make a cut here, and this is something that you'll need to do in this, is to simply check, and if you're not happy with it and you can make a cut to enhance the handle, then there's nothing stopping you from doing it. So I'm going to obviously trim it down, and I'm going to put a 45-degree angle on it, and then I'm going to cut along those lines. Now I'm not going to show you, I'm just simply going to do it, but you'll see what it's going to look like. And here it is. So I've cut it out now, and you'll see when I put the guitar tuners on, they have got a nice amount of space at the top. So I can actually move it around, doesn't catch on anything, and on the sides as well. And that's what we need to do. We need to make sure that those tuners aren't actually touching anything. And then we obviously put the screws in on all of them, and then we flip it over and we put the washer on, and we also put the nut on there and tighten them down. I am going to show you though the whole process. It's exactly the same as the large guitar neck, however it's about placement with this one. And taking your time, obviously making sure that you're getting it right. And there it is. So we just turn it over now. Now I'm going to use a large washer. You don't have to, but I'm going to use a large washer and the small one. So you get the small one with the actual kit itself. However, I'm putting a larger one on. Now, if you've got a bit of wobble in there, obviously you can see it when I'm tightening it. It could be because you've taken too much material away from the base of it. Now you can rectify that. Don't throw the whole guitar neck away. It is salvageable. It's just a matter of putting a bit of plywood on the other side and gluing it in place and sanding it back. Now mine does tighten up, so I'm happy with that. However, if you've bought the wrong guitar tuners, that's okay. I'll just show you now. You just turn it back over. You put a piece of plywood underneath. You glue it on. You trim around it. And then you drill the holes through it from the top down through it. But once you've done that, this is what you'll have. You'll have your guitar tuners in place. And you'll be ready to move on to the next tutorial, which we will put our 3-string cigar guitar adjustable bridge in place, as well as we'll be putting in our own custom bridge, where the 2 wires will go through over the hurdy-gurdy, and then we'll finish it off by putting our handle back on. Now, if you want to become a Filmmaster Subby, it's pretty simple. You can subscribe to the channel. You can follow me on Facebook and or on Twitter. Until next time, don't just film it, master it.